Well, on a day where the test match has moved forward rapidly, 16 wickets have fallen on the Wankhede on day two of the second and final India-New Zealand test, and 10 of those 16 fell to Ajaz Patel. Those highs seem to be a while back now, as New Zealand are significantly behind in this test. They trail by 332, and that after they were presented with an opportunity of possibly batting again. India decided to continue batting or to bat and not enforce the follow-on, and Cheteshwar Pujara surprisingly walked out with Mayank Agarwal. So we'll see what Wasim Jaffer and Dan Vettori make of all of that at our stump show on ESPN Cricket for Match Day. Dan, it started with some highs, and Ajaz Patel will still remember this day, but that's not a very good day for New Zealand outside of that historic achievement.
No, I think you've summed it up. A great day for Ajaz Patel, but a pretty poor day for New Zealand. Because if you take away Ajaz's performance, there's nothing really to talk about. So they'll be really disappointed not to be able to support what a fantastic bowling spell it was for Ajaz to complete 10 wickets in an innings. But you haven't seen a batting performance like that from New Zealand for a long time. These conditions aren't easy, and Indians bowlers were exceptional, but it's not something that we're accustomed to seeing.
62 all out was he, and in response, India coming in and getting 69 without loss. Now, sometimes where a team is in the game can perhaps influence the way they play, but 62 all out, it surely wasn't that sort of pitch, even though it was challenging.
No, it wasn't. And I think New Zealand should have come out with a lot of positivity because the kind of bowling that Ijaz Patel did. So they had all the right things going in their way. But I think Siraj's spell obviously, caused the damage, and then everything just went downhill from them. I think Tom Latham, was a crucial wicket. I think he's the backbone of this team when Kane is not playing. Uh, Ross Taylor hasn't got a great record in India, nor did anyone else other than Tom Latham. So when Tom Latham gets out, I think it was looking very bleak for the New Zealand team. And again, I feel that in the next inning, if Tom Latham gets out cheaply again, then I don't see them surviving for too long because it's going to get worse and worse from them.
Right, Wasim, if I could just get one comment from you on New Zealand's batting, whether there was any deficiency technically from them. They wouldn't have played a lot of the one career number of these players. We know spin at a certain pace can be challenging. Was there something that they got wrong?
I think the one pitch actually it does spin, but it spin with a lot of pace and bounce, and that can create problems to a lot of good batters, leave alone New Zealand batters. I mean, even the Indian batters struggled other than Mayank Agarwal. So you can't really blame or have their technique in doubts because it's tough conditions to bat. But other than Tom Latham, as I said before, rest of their batters haven't played in these conditions. Uh, Ross Taylor hasn't got a great record for the kind of player that he is. So they are very inexperienced for the conditions they are facing.
Hmm. All right, fair enough. Let's not go too hard at the New Zealand batters. It was India's day all throughout, except for Ajaz. But Dan Vittori spent a lot of time with Virat Kohli, so I'm going to ask him now what he was probably thinking when he had to make that decision of whether to enforce the follow on or bat again. And bat again he did, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fascinating one. I think most captains around the world sort of tend to err towards not enforcing the follow on, mainly to rest bowlers. There's a lot of talk, obviously, around workloads, and particularly for Indian bowlers, they have an exceptional workload and they have to play a lot of cricket. But I think this is one of the cases where I think India had only bowled 28 overs. They were well and truly on top, and they could have made a huge inroads into New Zealand's second innings. So I think there was a feeling that maybe that would have been one of the few times that a team would have looked to enforce a follow on, but they didn't. And look, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think this is going to make it incredibly difficult for New Zealand to come back into the Test match. It's almost impossible. And so, therefore, whatever move India made, they were still on top in the Test match. It's just, I think people in the background love seeing follow on and force to see a team continue to attack as opposed to what we've seen so far, where it's a partnership built and it just the I suppose the energy of the Test match has been taken away.
Right, fair enough. Wasim, follow-ons just out of fashion nowadays, or was there merit in saying let's give Pujara some batting time? We know that we need desperately.
I think so. There's so much time left in the test match. There's nothing wrong in batting again. You're going into a very big tour of South Africa. So the out of form batters can get a little bit of time in. It's better than having any nets. Any score that they get or any time, even though the conditions are going to be a lot difficult, a lot different. So if Pujara gets runs, Virat gets runs, and when the captain gets out on zero, he's going to bat again. So there's no challenging that. And there's 3 days cricket left, so nothing wrong I feel in that, because they're going to go into a tour, and if the batters get a little bit of confidence, nothing wrong in that.
Okay, Pujara opening, Wasim, thoughts?
I think it was an obvious one because uh, Shubman got injured. So Pujara is the best bet. Virat is going to come one down. So nothing wrong in that. Depends on when Shubman is ready to bat. I think he needs to bat as well and get a little bit of runs if he can. Uh, Other than that, I feel the same batting order follows.
All right, Dan. Do New Zealand have any way of coming back into this test match, or is it only a matter of time now? Dan?
Oh,
Any
sorry.
chance for New Zealand to come back into this? Yeah.
Oh, I just think the nature of the wicket is so difficult, and that very brief spell we saw from Ashwin and the skill that he has in these sorts of circumstances and conditions. And then he's got Jan Yadav and obviously Axar Patel to back him up, and Suraj and Umesh Yadav. It's just going to be such tough going for New Zealand when they get to bat again.
All right. Well, let's pick up this chat again at lunchtime on day three. Test match going along rapidly. I think it's still a big innings for Teteshwar Pujara. Big thank you to Wasim Jaffer and Dan Vettori on a day when New Zealand cricket will remember for Rajas Patel's 10-wicket haul. Unfortunately, marred by the fact that it is still looking like India's test match quite clearly and comfortably. Join us at lunchtime on day three on ESPN Cricket for Match Day.